Good evening, everyone. Here, I'm going to go pretty quickly through this, but I do want to just do a few acknowledgments. So just a reminder that last week was National Police Week, so we were able to recognize our officers. Memorial Day is coming up this month, as you know, and that final icon down or picture down there is people, purpose, and presence, and that is to acknowledge DPW. This is the agenda that I will follow. Okay, and just a reminder that this week is National Public Works Week. We're really proud of our Public Works representatives and employees. They work really hard. They do some great things for this community, and so we just want to acknowledge them this week, spend some time with them, and if you see them out and about, please just give them a wave and let them know you appreciate them. Okay, and okay, we're working on a few screens here, so if you see my head bobbing, that's what's happening. I do want to sorry, let me just move this really quickly. Okay, I do want to just congratulate our newly elected council members and welcome back our two re-elected council members. They'll be beginning their second term here soon on June 2nd. I also want to acknowledge all the people that ran for office and their hard work. Just a reminder, there's a 12 o'clock noon meeting, and then there's another meeting at 7 p.m. that night with this new council seated. Do want to shout out the outgoing council members. We have Council Member Romel Sandino and Council Member Sam Dennis. Both of them will be on the meeting on June 2nd, but tonight is actually their last evening meeting. So I do want to just mention that. Also, would like to mention the Board of Elections. They really did some great work. The Ethics Commission, the election judges, and then, of course, our city clerk, Nate Gronendijk, and Deputy Clerk, Kiana Taylor, for all the work that they did during the elections. Once again, congratulations to our newly elected council members. My screen's not changing much, so let me I think it's freezing up on me. There we go. Okay, emergency operations. I just wanted to acknowledge that Reggie represented the city of Hyattsville and stood with Governor Moore and several other municipal representatives as he signed in the state's disaster recovery fund, which just makes funding available for emergencies. And so again, Hyattsville has benefited from that fund, and so we are glad that that fund has been preserved. I also do want to acknowledge that we are now an authorized opioid response program site, which means that we can now develop our own opioid-related programs, and we can dispense Naxalone independent without the county. We can do that on our own. And we can also do training without the county. But the county has been extremely supportive of us. I want to welcome two new public safety aides, Ania and Danielle Riley. So Ania Hunter is from Syracuse. She came to the area in October, but she worked in dispatch there in Syracuse at the community college. So we're happy to have her. So she's experienced, so that's good for us. And then Danielle Riley, who was born right here and raised in the DC area, comes from a family of law enforcement officers, and she was inspired that actually is what inspired her to become a public safety aide. So we welcome both of them. Both of them have said that they are looking forward to ways that they can help others and give back to their community. All right, and so some good news to share. Penrose, the affordable housing program, on May 2nd, the county did provide preliminary approval for the development of the 120 affordable rental units. Penrose applied to the state for tax credits on May 9th, and the city we did this last year as well, but we're going to apply again on their behalf to see if we can get a grant for them for this project. But the county will do a payment in lieu of taxes for $600 for a portable unit, and a loan up to $6 million. So we're happy for to see this project go forward. DPW, I always like to just shout out some of the work that they're doing as well. And so we have a brand new light up on Bellcrest Road right there on Toledo Terrace. And we are excited that the Ager Road electronic sign that we have anxiously been waiting for is finally getting installed. So they poured the concrete and they've got the footings in, and so the rest of the sign will probably be completed by Wednesday. They need some time for that to take. Okay, Government Alliance on Racial Equity. That's the acronym is GARE, and they had a speaker series. This was a national speaker series, and our equity officer for this area was invited to co-lead that session. So it was over 150 local government officials that attended. I got to sit in on that, as did Laura Reams, and that she did a tremendous job and really represented a lot of the issues well. There were a lot of questions, and there remains a lot of questions on the current political climate and the impacts on equity regarding that. Okay, our Youth Advisory Council, they are really staying busy. And their actual term is coming to an end, but they went to the WABA Safety Summit. That's the Washington Area Bicycle Association. And they had an opportunity to just learn about cycle safety and participate in some interactive activities. And then on May 16th, they worked directly with the Education Advisory Committee, and they discussed ways that the two committees can work together and collaborate on issues. And I understand that they came up with a lot of good suggestions and ideas. I thank our council members who also who kind of encouraged that and also participated. I believe that was Councilmember Straub and Councilmember Wozak. And if I'm missing anyone, hopefully you can correct me. Intergenerational trip, still doing some great things with our youth and aging, just really trying to put those two groups together, and they learned so much from each other. But they went to the Hirshhorn Museum in DC. And on May 8th, they took the community services team took a group of older adults to Brookside Gardens in Wheaton, Maryland. And and then from last month, April through June, they're going to be partnering with Artworks to provide art classes to our seniors. Back to school supply drive and summer jams. So the supply drive, we have a lot of partners that have reached out to us and that want to work with us. So Sandra and her team are trying to partner to get some of these so that we can take care of some of these partners to come together with us, and so that we can take care of our young people going back to school next year. We're going to accept donations up until August 15th at the city building. We also have some other information in terms of an Amazon wish list that people can order them from. I also included here the Summer Jam schedule. Pride Month celebration is June 20th at Driscoll. Backyard Barbecue is July 18th here at the City Building. And then International Heritage, and that will be at September 19th. So we'll celebrate several heritages. Ward 1 is having a community cleanup. So that's going to be on Saturday, June 7th at 10 a.m. They're meeting at the spot, and they're going to clean up along the trail, and then that'll be followed by a meeting to transition the new council members. And so, again, it gives an opportunity for residents to shout out Councilmember Dennis and meet and welcome the new council member, Greg Barnes. Okay. Hey, Chief, I'm going to let you talk to this one. Are you on, Chief?
I apologize, I was muted. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Good evening, Hyattsville. Thank you, Tracy, for the opportunity. So there have been some questions that come up. We realized there's some questions about what could we be spending, several $1,000s or over $10,000 on chairs for dispatch. So in the new communication center over the new public safety building, where we're going to be having new Motorola equipment and consoles, chairs and computer monitors are the last pieces that the police department has to procure before we can have all the equipment in line to finalize that project. With that being said, dispatch chairs are not the same as office chairs, although we have had to procure office chairs as well. We've kind of done everything over the years. I've seen everything procured from chairs from Office Depot to this type of chair. In offices, one person uses one chair. The chair is used maybe 8 hours a day for the at administrative staff member who maybe sits in their chair 5 or 6 of those 8 hours between lunch and moving around the facility, interacting with other employees. These particular chairs, dispatchers rarely have the opportunity to get up and take a break. Even their short lunch break, they just don't have the opportunity. They're rushing back to their seat. So these chairs are someone is sitting in this chair the entire 12-hour shift. And as soon as they get up and leave, someone else is sitting in the chair. These chairs, although not all these chairs are not one size fits all. All of our dispatchers have different body types. The chairs must be ergonomically appropriate for all the different employees that we hire and that operate our facility 24/7. With that being said, we currently have 10 full-time dispatchers that are trained and fully certified, and then we have 2 that are in training. So there are times where the EOC has 3 dispatchers and then someone who's training in the ECC with them. So at any given time, there's 4 in the communication center, and then of course we have a console in our EOC, our emergency operations center, in the basement. So there's a need for 5 to 6 dispatch chairs. These chairs range from, depending on the type of chair, they range anywhere from about $1,500 to $3,000 a piece. It's likely, when we realized that this was going to be the cost, we were figuring that we were going to be spending somewhere around $16,000 or have a need somewhere around $16,000. So we immediately started looking for grant funding. As Ms. Douglas has mentioned several times, that when we have a need, we need to go out and try to find grant funds. Luckily for us, GOCCP, the Governor's Office on Crime Prevention, had a grant opportunity because they had some BJAG funds left over, which is Bureau of Justice grant funds. GOCCP did a white paper solicitation. We applied for $21,000 to cover chairs and computer monitors, which would be all the procurement necessary to complete the ECC project. We were awarded $12,798. We actually expect, after getting an update from staff today, we expect that the chairs will be under $15,000. We might even be able to squeeze that under the $13,000 and have all the chairs completely grant funded. But we're not 100% sure yet based on quotes. When we apply for a grant, we have to submit a proposal. The proposal we had at the time was for $16,000, but we've been looking at other vendors since then, trying to find the best bang for your buck, if you will, in terms of warranty coverage, coming out and having ability to replace parts if we have issues with chairs, which we've had many times in the past. And so we might likely will maybe going with a different vendor that has better equipment for the price, which will ultimately require us to just get a grant modification from GFCCP. But with that being said, we should be under $15,000, maybe even under the $13,000 for the grant fund. With that, I'm open to questions.
Okay, I'll get through the last few slides, and then if you have any additional questions, we'll come back to that. Just letting you know that these are our weekly offerings. They don't change. So it's a seated exercise class on Wednesdays at 10, Zumba on Monday and Wednesdays at 4, and digital literacy on Wednesdays from 12 to 1. And then we've got some committee meetings coming up. We've got the planning committee meeting again, code compliance, advisory committee meeting, the health on Wednesday the 21st, health, wellness, recreation advisory committee on Thursday the 22nd, age-friendly work group Friday the 23rd, and race and equity task force meeting will be on Tuesday, May 27th. And some of the upcoming events is the produce, that is tomorrow at 12 noon at First United Methodist Church. Remember, that's a partnership that we do. There will be a community emergency response team meeting on Wednesday the 21st as well. Department of Public Works is having an open house on Thursday, May 22nd, for those who would like to see the new facility and just kind of walk through. Seniors on the Go, there's a cookout at Driscoll Park. That's also on Thursday. That's from 10 to 2. And then Community Cultural Conversations, Common Ground, that's exploring faith, community, and belonging on Thursday the 29th. Care Partner Support Group, Friday the 30th. Free diaper distribution. We've still got those diapers coming in. So Friday, that's on May 30th. Residential parking permits for groups 3. That will be on Saturday the 31st. That begins on Saturday the 31st. And then University Park Meadow Day, Saturday the 31st. And renewal for the parking permits for Zone 4 begins on June 4th, Monday. Okay, and I think I've got, oops. Were you all seeing my slides? You may not have been.
We were. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, were you? Oh, good. Okay. All right. And then the last thing is the council meeting and adoption of the budget is on June 2nd. Oath of office ceremony is on Monday, June 2nd at 5 p.m. And oath of office. So June 2nd at 12 noon, we have the virtual meeting. This will be the last meeting of this current council. On Monday, June 2nd at 5 p.m., that's when we'll swear in the newly elected council members. And then Monday evening, June 2nd at 7, that's again virtual. That will be the virtual council meeting. And I think I missed that one box that just reminded everyone that we will be closed on Memorial Day. I'm going to stop share and take any questions you may have.
Colleagues, questions? Anyone have a question on anything that they just heard? Okay, seeing none.